Hello, welcome back to Mathline channel. In this channel, you will be getting a basic maths lesson every week. Those who have not watched the previous lessons, please watch from the beginning and continue watching. So today I am here with a new topic, that is symmetric and non-symmetric figures. You have studied various geometrical figures. Now we will see what are symmetric and non-symmetric. See here the figures in the first column. There is a figure of any shape. We cannot name the which type of figure. So you can see a line drawn along the figure. Look at both the parts of the line of the figure. What you can observe? It can be seen that both the parts are congruent. Both the parts on either side of this line are congruent. Congruent figures. They are having same size and shape. Or if you fold along this line, both the parts exactly coincident. Clear? Now, another figure of any shape. I have drawn a line. Look at either parts on both the sides of this horizontal line. This also divide the figure into two congruent parts. If you fold along this line, both the parts exactly coincidence. That is, we cannot see differently both the parts. Now, this is another figure. Here also you can see a line. Along this line, if you fold this figure, these parts will exactly coincident, or both the parts are congruent. So this type of figures are said to be symmetric. So what is meant by symmetry? If there is a line which divides the figure into two congruent halves or two congruent parts, then the figure is said to be symmetric. So all the three figures drawn in this column are symmetric. There is a line divides the figure into two congruent halves. You can see that human body is symmetric. If you draw a line at the center of the human body, on either side of that line, you can see congruent parts. They are congruence of each other. Eyes, hand, everything. Left and right. So such figures are called congruent figures. Now look at this paper. It is of any shape. There is a line. If you fold along this, you can not see both the parts separately, exactly coincident. So this figure is symmetry. Clear? Only along this line. If I fold along this direction, you can see the parts differently. They are not congruent. Clear? So only this line is divide the figure into two congruent halves. There should be a line along the figure which divides the figure into two congruent parts. Then that figure is said to be symmetric. And this line is called line of symmetry or axis of symmetry. Some figures have more than one axis of symmetry, one line of symmetry. But if there is no axis of symmetry, the figure is said to be not symmetric. Such figures are called non-symmetric. That is that you can see these figures, you cannot find a line, or if you draw a line along in any direction, it will not be divided into two congruent halves. So these figures are said to be non-symmetric. These figures are said to be non-symmetric. So what is non-symmetric figures? There is no line which divides the figure into two congruent halves. Clear? There is no line which divides the figure into two congruent halves. Then the figure said to be non-symmetric. So what is the condition for the figure to be symmetric? It should have at least one axis of symmetry or line of symmetry. Some figures have more than one axis of symmetry. For example, equilateral, triangle, circle, etc. are having more than one axis of symmetry. And if no axis of symmetry, the figure is not symmetric. They are said to be non-symmetric. At least one line should be there that divides the figure into two congruent parts. Such figures are called symmetric figures. Clear? And about axis of symmetry of various figures and how many axes of symmetry they are having, we will study in the next class. So I think you understood what is the difference between symmetric and non-symmetric figures. The symmetric figure, at least one line of symmetry or axis of symmetry should be there. But if no axis of symmetry or line of symmetry is there for a figure, then they are said to be non-symmetric. So these figures are all non-symmetric. We cannot draw a line which divides the figure into two congruent halves, and these figures are symmetric. That is all about today's lesson. Thank you for watching this lesson. See you next week with a new topic. Please share, forward, and subscribe the channel. Have a nice day. Bye bye. See you. Thank you.